find yourself wandering through a swamp late at night. It's dark yet humid, and you can't find your way to town. Then you hear a splash and a low growling. What could it be? An alligator? Cottonmouth? Or something else? In this video, we will be looking at cryptids that are said to inhabit the swamps of the southern United States. The 1972 movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek, tells the story of a large ape-like creature terrorizing the town of Fouke in Miller County, Arizona. The movie consisted of several interviews, a combination of both real and fake accounts. The film was able to gross up to $20 million and made an additional $4.8 million from rentals. While its sequels never lived up to the original's legacy, the film can be regarded as legendary for its time. But before its commercial success, the story of the Fouke monster consisted of multiple eerie eyewitness reports. Reports of a large ape-like creature standing up to 7 feet tall with reddish-brown hair have been reported even prior to the 1900s, with sightings of the Fouke monster prevalent even prior to the Civil War. Sightings of the monster leaked into the 1950s, but were mostly dismissed as being misidentifications of a black bear. The sightings had little to no merit until 1971. In 1971, on May 2nd, Bobby and Elizabeth Ford were terrorized by some creature at night. A few days prior, the Fords had heard some type of creature wandering around their property. Then on May 2nd, Elizabeth Ford was sleeping on the couch when a giant, hairy hand reached out from the screen window. She noted that the creature had a pair of glowing red eyes. Meanwhile, Bobby and his friends were returning from a hunting trip and found the creature at the back of the house. They shot the creature and retreated into the woods. An hour later, Bobby then heard his wife scream, so he ran to the front of the house, only to be grabbed and dragged by the creature. Bobby survived the encounter after he wrestled the creature off, as it ran away at quick speeds. Strangely enough, there was no blood from the creature, even after it was hit with the bullets. Bobby later reported this incident to his town's police and was treated at the hospital for minor scratches and shock from the encounter. The Fords moved out not long after the incident. The Fords were interviewed shortly after, and their reports gained national attention. There was a bounty of over $1,000 for the creature, and people were even fined for false sightings. Another sighting occurred 21 days later, with multiple people claiming the creature was rushing across Highway 71. Footprint evidence was also found near a soybean field. These reports would later inspire the 1972 movie, The Legend of Boggy Creek. Despite many eyewitness accounts, the creature has been ruled as a hoax, as its existence comprised of mostly eyewitness accounts, and the footprints that were said to be found were discovered to be man-made. However, something did attack the Fords that night, as what other reason would they have to abandon their property? Sightings of the creature still pour into the 21st century, so whether the creature exists or not is completely left to the imagination. The Ozark Mountains run across Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Illinois, and Kansas, and are known for its many springs, waterfalls, and its caves. A strange creature is said to live in these mountains, with its story passed down for generations. At night, when you're alone in the woods, you may hear its unusual cry piercing the night, sounding like a combination of an elk bugle and a wolf howl. That was the cry of the Ozark Howler. The Ozark Howler has been described as a shaggy, bear-like creature with horns, and its moniker derived from its strange howl. Sightings of the Howler may go as far back as the 1800s, when frontiersman Daniel Boone encountered and shot the creature in Missouri, but its remains were never found. Fast forward to a century later, veterans returning from World War II in Oklahoma claim to have spotted the Howler prowling around their property. Sightings have continued to pour into the 21st century across the states that the Ozarks run through, with many posting their stories online. A link to these alleged encounters will be posted in the description below. Here is one encounter from Oregon County, Missouri. This sighting was in the April of 2006. A friend of mine got up early in the morning, about 4:30 a.m., and when he went outside, he noticed his livestock were very frightened and had huddled in a cluster in the corner of the fence by his house. He had some binoculars, so he took a look in the direction from which they had run. He said what he saw looked like a big black panther. He quickly changed his mind when he began walking down to his field and saw the thing running along the fence line. He said it had very long ears or horns and was black with thick fur. It had a long tail like a cat, but looked like a mix between a cat and a dog. It was broad and about as big as a Great Dane, and it had eerie, reddish eyes that gave him chills. There is no reason for him to make up such a story, and he was very shaken up after the sighting. Skeptics explain that the howler may be a result of spreading false information or a misidentification of a bear or mountain lion. However, locals haven't been passing down stories of nothing, and no other creature has such a piercing and unique cry. Lee County, South Carolina was founded in 1902 and is the fifth smallest county population-wise. Starting in the 1980s, a creature has terrorized this town for years, making headlines and radio broadcasts. The lizard man of Skateboard Swamp is described as a large green lizard that stands at around 7 feet tall, with wet, green, scaly skin, 3 fingers, and glowing red eyes. It was also known to be aggressive towards people. It was first sighted in 1988 by a young man named Christopher Davis coming home from work. He was driving back to his house until his tire flattened beside Skateboard Swamp. He got out to pump it. While he was pumping, he heard running sounds from behind him. As the lizard man approached him from behind, Davis saw the reptilian scurrying towards him, so he ran back into the car and began to drive. As he was driving, the lizard man grabbed onto the car and later managed to climb up to the roof while Davis was driving. The creature held on tight, but Davis managed to lose the creature after swerving side to side. Davis reported the incident to local police 2 weeks later, indicating a damaged rearview mirror and scratch marks on the car roof. Sightings of the creature were reported in all over town, but there was no concrete evidence, and a few sightings were ruled as hoaxes. By the summer of 1988, sightings eventually began to fade out, and the creature's existence remains a mystery. Was the creature just some local wildlife? And were the influx of sightings brought on by hysteria caused after the initial sighting? Something attacked Davis's car that night. Something inhuman. What it was, lizardman or not, we may never know.